All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Leslie, can you walk us through the steps? If someone is newly diagnosed with diabetes, no matter what type it is, what would they do? I know the Repel Diabetes Learning Center is open from 9 to 4,
Yes.
Monday through Friday,
Yes.
but how would they go about?
If their doctor has not mentioned us, they could walk into our facility. We could help them navigate the process of requesting that referral. We work off of primary care physician referrals. So if they have other needs necessary, it gives the doctor the opportunity to mark those needs and allow us to custom design a diabetes care plan designed for them.
Okay.
We can help type 1 or type 2. Miss Jody, our nurse, is also certified to help instruct on how to choose pumps, insulin pumps. That's going to be a huge thing coming up in the future, especially as the biotic pancreas becomes more and more in the news. So we definitely offer the pump service, which is not necessarily new, but is becoming more popular as we move forward. And then, of course, diabetes education is huge in managing your disease. A lot of people, have that myth that you can't eat this or you can't have that or I'll never get chocolate again. And I can say, as a type 2, I've recently learned to manage with diet and exercise. We've lost a significant amount of weight, and I've also managed to say, okay, if I want that piece of chocolate, I have to count it. And that's okay because it's in my meal plan, and that has allowed me to manage my meds and come off of some of those. So
Congratulations, that's wonderful.
Thank you, but I wouldn't have done it without Jan and Jody going to them and saying, hey, I've got this, or I'm on a plateau, or where am I at? So Jan and Jody are definitely there to help you navigate every step of the way. I'm having lows, what are my options? They're there to say, and kind of be that advocate to go to the nurse and break it back down into layman's terms.
And that's what the folks coming in
And that's
can
what
do.
we do, yes.
And they're caregivers.
And they're caregivers. We have several different types of group classes we offer, and we always encourage them to bring a support person because diabetes is so much easier to manage when you have a group and a team, and we're all kind of going for that
Well,
same
and especially if
healthy
it's a
lifestyle.
gentleman
Right, most
and wife
times, yeah.
does most of the cooking.
Or vice versa.
Or vice
There's
versa,
a lot of
yeah,
that now,
yeah.
that my husband does all the cooking
Yeah.
and I'm the working. So we definitely, and Miss Jan, once again, our dietitian, gives them personalized meal plans. So it's broken down to, if they need to lose weight and they're only so active for whatever reason, she can even break it down to a calorie count, where if you eat so many calories a day, you will still have a weight loss at the end of the week. So there's a lot of services there. Definitely help you navigate the insurance laws and regulations because there's a lot of ins and outs with diabetes.
That, I was going to say, what a quagmire. That is just,
It's definitely, it could be a full-time job in
Yeah,
itself.
it is for many people, I think.
But it's that's what we're there for. We're there to help take that confusion out of the diabetes. It's such an overwhelming disease, and it is a chronic disease, and it does include lifetime management. And we're there to say, hey, we understand. We've all three of us in some way or another have been affected personally by the disease, and we're not going to let you give up. We're going to be there as a team for you.
We've got the answers for you.
We'll help you find the answers for sure.
Great.
So, the options.
Thank you,
Yes.
Leslie. And Becky, talk to us. How would someone that's interested watching the show today become a volunteer? What do they have to do?
We go through an application and interview process. We do have a paper application right now, and I'm working on a paperless one. But we go through a paper application. They can pick one up at the hospital, or they can call the Volunteer Services office, and we can mail them one. Or they can go on the Baxter Regional website and download and print an application. We do have to do reference checks, and we do a criminal background check. And once we get that information back, then we'll call you in for an interview, and we talk about your interests and the needs that we have at the hospital, and we try to match those interests up with those needs and see where we can get you plugged in and engaged. We do ask you to commit to 40 hours a year volunteering, so that's as easy as a 1 4-hour shift a week. We have a lot of volunteers that give us a lot more time than that.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But that's an easy commitment to get started, and that's what we want to. That's what we want to do, is make it easy, make it fun, make it exciting, again, getting you engaged, finding that purpose and passion that you need in your life, which adds to a healthy lifestyle. And then and from there, we'll get you going more.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. And as you said, there are volunteers that we couldn't do it without them. We could
Well,
not do it without them.
We wouldn't have the same look and feel.
Yeah.
We would be able to have our hospital. We're blessed to have that hospital that we have, but we would definitely have a different look or
You
feel at our
bet.
hospital, because the volunteers do make a difference, and we're blessed to have them. So we're
Every day,
Yeah.
you bet.
One of the things that I've commented or have noticed about our volunteers is that some of our volunteers actually have two places. They'll volunteer at our home, but sometimes they'll also have another place in the hospital that they volunteer.
Yeah.
And that is so neat to see when they get so engaged and
that they want to
Yeah.
do something
they
else.
wanna do something
add
more.
some
Exactly.
You know, I will say, we've got volunteers that have been there 15 years, up to 35 years volunteering. They've made volunteering at BRMC their second career.
That's
And
amazing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It truly is amazing.
Yeah.
So we're really blessed to have them. I can't say that often enough. I know I say that a lot, but it's a blessing every day. I get to hear a story from a volunteer about how they were able to touch a life and make a difference, and how that has helped them so much. Personally, to be able to do that. You can't put a dollar value on that.
No, you can't. And I think of some of the folks that are widowed, widows or widowers, that could have chosen the route to kind of isolate themselves, fall into depression, maybe not give back. And those that I see that just like, no, I think it's real important that I do this, and then this does become their second home, their second family. They make new friends, and they help out. As you said, we are so blessed to have them. The behind the scenes, I think of folks that people say, well, what would they do in the cafeteria? And I think of the gentleman that's down there that's wrapping the sterilized knives, forks, and spoons into a napkin that are going to go on the patient trays. Okay. What that saves the hospital versus hiring another person to do that. And here's a willing volunteer. It's amazing. Every morning, I'm amazed at the time. I've been in that hospital just about around the clock sometimes, and you walk through the halls and here's your volunteers. They're doing something. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
What's also neat, like I can relate to a Friday morning. We had a gentleman come in, and we have a volunteer on Friday morning, and this gentleman came in, and he was very distraught. We also had other patients, so Jody and I were finishing up with them, and our volunteer sat there and visited with this man with a brand new diagnosis and said, hey, it's okay, these girls are going to help you. And by the time Jody and I were able to say hello and sit down with this man, our volunteer had already calmed his nerves.
Yeah.
And said, hey,
Yeah.
I understand. You're in the right spot.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
just, it's amazing when you see that happen.
It is, and we're blessed. They are usually the first contact with the hospital, and many times the last contact with the hospital.
when you're coming in, somebody right there with a wheelchair, and to take you where you need to go. And when you're discharged, same thing, right back out to the car. And we couldn't do it. I know. I'm a caregiver for my husband, and I could not go and get the car, leave him in a wheelchair sitting, and it just, the dynamics would be too much.
They'll even go back and get a pillow you might have forgotten.
Sound like you speak from experience here,
Maybe.
yes.
That's why and they'll tell you that's why I'm
That's
here.
exactly
Yeah.
what he said
Yeah.
too.
But then everybody feels, it's the win-win for all. So it's the beauty of it. Now, how about, I was laughing, I was thinking this morning, I swung by the Piccadilly, the gift shop that's in the hospital with beautiful things, and our Miss Debbie is, even as we speak, off to market.
She is off to
And
market.
it's like, oh my.
New stuff,
Yeah, which we all get excited about. And I always talk to the public and the community and say, if you have you need to have a really beautiful gift for a special occasion, stop into the hospital gift shop. They have beautiful things at reasonable prices. It's wonderful.
And things you wouldn't think of normally.
Yes.
Unique things.
Yeah, very unique. Yeah, that's what's great about it. But I was laughing at the volunteers this morning. I just happened to look at the new palazzo pants, and before I knew it, I got 2 volunteers going, "Oh, Donna, these would go great. Here's a top. That would look at that. Oh, that would be so cute together." And I thought, "Oh
They
my
are our
goodness,
sales
yeah."
ladies.
They're wonderful.
They're our stylists, so
Yes,
they'll keep you
yeah,
styling.
Yeah. Well, ladies, I'm so glad you stopped by today to visit us on the show. This has been so informative, and it's wonderful to hear what's going on over at Rappel Diabetes Learning Center. And would you give us that number, Leslie?
Our number is 870-508-1765. Generally, I'll be the one to answer. If not, we'll have a wonderful volunteer answer. and
There you go.
One of us will call you back.
Okay. And Becky, if someone is interested in volunteering, how would they reach you?
508-1064.
1064. All right. And it'll probably be a volunteer answering the
It
phone.
will be.
Come back and see us again soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for stopping
inviting.
today. All right. And we'll see you again next week on BRMC's Healthy Connections.